He said, you won't like it so much after a couple of days because they do it right up here and it's going to wake you up every morning. He also said, now let me warn you about those Muslims. He said, they all lie and they all steal. Well, I had to prove him wrong, and I did. But you know what's the sad part? I lived in that country for over 5 years, and nobody ever invited me into a masjid. I was searching. I was begging for people to teach me about Islam, and nobody ever invited me. So the reason I'm saying that to my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters, don't ever let it be said that you will have somebody hanging around your neck on the day of judgment because you didn't invite them and they were searching. This is an event of da'wah, which means to invite. If I hold a gun to my brother's head and say, come on, you're going with me, that's not an invitation. But tonight we're about an invitation. We want to make sure that you know that the door is wide open for you to come to Islam. In 1985, my parents divorced and separated after 33 years of marriage, and my only brother died of an overdose of drugs. I was distraught, and I returned to America for a short time and back to South Africa. I decided, well, I can't get this thing right. God has not given me the truth. I'm not free. So I'm going to go and be a soul doctor. I'm going to go back to America, get my PhD in clinical social work or psychology, and I'm going to be a psychiatrist. And I came back to America with $1,200. I was earning in the top 5% of the country when I left. Started over with $1,200 in Los Angeles. And if anybody here knows anything about Los Angeles, $1,200 won't last you but about 3 weeks. And that's if you're real frugal. Allah blessed me with a wonderful wife. I was working in a store one day, and a man came to me and said, you lived in Africa, right? I said, South Africa, yes. He said, well, there's a man from Ghana that I want you to meet. I said, do you know how far Ghana is from South Africa? You know, it's not like we're going to be swinging in the same trees together or riding on the same elephant. You know, it's sad, but really, I'm in America, so I'm allowed to say this. Everybody, when I used to tell them that I lived in South Africa, they thought I lived in the jungle. They didn't understand that's where the first heart transplant took place, and that there were some actually bright people there, and computer technology, and telephones, and light switches. Alhamdulillah. Light switch. I met this man from Ghana, and when I met him, I had been meditating and praying and asking Allah, God at the time, to lead me to the truth. I had decided that I would work and make a living and go home and meditate until I found my truth, because I couldn't marry until I found my truth. I knew that God had shown me the woman that He wanted me to marry, and now I'm with her today, 20 years. But I couldn't marry her until faith could be the cornerstone of that relationship. Anyway, when I went to see this man from Ghana, I said to him, God has led me to you. I don't know what your religion is, but I'm supposed to be it. He said, no. I'm not trying to get anybody in religion. I'm a psychologist. I said, you might not be trying to get me in your religion, but I'm trying to get there. I hounded that man for 3 months. And finally, after 3 months, he gave me a little book called Elementary Teachings to Islam. And I came back and I said, when can I do my shahada? He said, there's no compulsion in our religion. I said, I'm not trying to be compelled. I've been asking you for 3 months. I want to be a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He guided me to the truth. And He called me to Islam. I knew that in order for me to be the best da'i, the best servant to my ummah and for my Lord, I had to educate myself. I was working in California, by that time was earning about $70,000 a year. And I said to my wife one day, you know what, this is strange, but I feel so strongly that Allah wants me to go to North Carolina. And a prophet is not on earth in the same town was what they said about Jesus, Esau and Salam. I said, I don't want to go back to my same town where I was a preacher and then, wear a jalabia and tell people I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, all that stuff. And lo and behold, the business I was running got sold. And I said to my wife one time, I feel like Jonah. God told him to go to Nineveh. He said, I don't want to go to Nineveh. So he had him swallowed by a big fish and vomited up on the shore. Well, Allah was kind to me because I didn't get vomited up, but I did go back. When I got to North Carolina, I couldn't find a living that was comparable to the living that I've been making. And another thing happened. My mother said, if you're coming back here and you want my support, you have to change your name. You can't be Abdul Rahman anymore. I said, then I don't need your support. I love you, and because of my religion, I will always be good to you, because that's what my religion teaches. But I'm not going to be sold. I've been searching all my life for the truth, and now I have it, and I'm not for sale. I called my father, and I said, Dad, I need some help. We were going to stay with Mom for a while, and we're no longer invited. He said, call me back in 2 hours. I called him back. He had us an apartment. He found us an apartment. The lady that ran those apartments, I had played the piano for her when I was a pianist and southern musician. She said, we'd love to have him. My dad said, I can't pronounce his name. It's Abdul Rahman or something like that. But anyway, I call him Abdul. So we went to North Carolina, and they did a whole big page in the newspaper about me coming back to Wallace, North Carolina, a little town of 6,000. Had a picture of all my children and my Zal, my wife. And you can believe that stirred a lot of energy, a lot of opportunity to share Islam with people. Well, this lady that ran these apartments said to me one day, Abdul, why don't you go back to school? I said, are you crazy? I got 4 children, 3 children at the time, and a wife, and no money. She said, well, let me tell you a secret. She said, these apartments are owned by the Farmers Association of America, and they want to invest in North Carolinians. So if you go to school, we'll pay your rent and 2/3 of your light bill. I said, what am I going to do, be an indentured servant for the rest of my life? She said, there's no catch. It's for real. I said to my wife, I know I'm supposed to be here. I don't know why yet. I went to register for school. I was wearing not this kufi, but one like it. An inmate was standing at the Duplin County Correctional Facility. He told another inmate who was on work release, tell that man with the white hat to come and see us. I'm walking on campus minding my business, and this guy comes and says, hey dude, there's some Muslims over there that want you to come to see. I said, I don't know anybody in jail. He said, well, they want you to come. I started crying. I knew right then why Allah wanted me to go to North Carolina. I said to this young man, go bring me a list of those people and who I need to speak to. The very next day, I met with the warden of that prison. He said, I'd like you to be our imam tomorrow. I said, do what? Tomorrow? I said, I'm green at this thing. I'm not qualified. He said, will you be our imam or not? 5 years. I was at the Duplin County Correctional Facility.